So how much mica powder do you need to add to your resin to get the effects that you want? We'll be covering that in today's quick tips video. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. This is Zach over at NV Woodworks. So how much mica powder do you need to add? This is a question I get asked a lot, and it kind of depends on the situation or, what are you trying to make? In the case of pen blanks, you're gonna need to add a lot more than you think. For larger things, if you're going for like a subtle effect especially, you can usually back it down a lot because it's a thicker blank in the end. So for pen blanks, you're gonna wanna add more mica powder than you probably expect. And I think what trips people up is two things. They'll get the blanks cut out and it looks like it's really opaque. And by the time you're done drilling it and turning it down, it's like totally see-through. You can see the tubes and you didn't expect that. The other thing that kind of trips people up is when you're mixing up your cup and you're adding your mica powder into the resin in the cup. Again, it's a pretty thick volume and it looks opaque, but then you pour the blanks and turn them and everything, and it turns out that it's pretty transparent and you can see the tubes. So the way that you can kind of figure this out beforehand while you're mixing in and adding your mica powder is when you're mixing it, pull out a little bit of resin on your stir stick and look at it. If you can see the wood grain through it, through the mica powder and the resin, then you don't have enough mica powder in there. You need to add more. That's a pretty good way to estimate, is it gonna be opaque? Is it enough? Is it the effect that I want? Now, having said that, one little side note on this, there are a few mica powders out there that, like, no matter how much you add, it's just not going to be completely opaque. Lime green is a big one, and there's a few others. So, it is still a case-by-case basis, and I always recommend people paint the tubes or use powder-coated tubes or nickel tubes so that you don't see the tube through it on any pen blank. But in general, just doing the stir stick test while you're mixing it in, that should be good enough. Now, on the other end, if you're going to leave the blank intact and you've got at least like 3/4 of an inch to an inch of resin, then whatever's in the cup is probably going to be a pretty good estimate of what it's going to look like in the end. So that's a lot easier, for your stoppers and things like that. You don't really need to worry. Whatever the cup looks like is probably going to be pretty much what you're going to get in the blank. So that makes things a little bit easier. So I hope that helps out. I know it can be frustrating when you're getting started and you're like, oh, I mixed it up and it looked good, and when it was a blank and then it turned out not so good, or not what I wanted. So hopefully this will kind of help you understand, how to kind of see and understand what the results are going to be while you're mixing stuff up, rather than find out later the hard way that, oh, I didn't add enough mica powder. One thing that I will say, resin casting, the hardest part about it is if you have an exact picture in your mind of what you want, chances are you're probably not going to get that. It's hard to get exact specific results with resin casting, even for me, but especially for beginners. So just be patient with it, experiment often. That's the best way to kind of learn. And the other thing I will say, if you're just starting out, or even if you've been doing this for a few years, the best thing to do is keep notes for every single pour. Put a lot of information. I actually have a video, I'm going to link to that, on what I put in my notebook, and there's even a link to a download for that you can kind of see what I do basically and what I keep notes of. But make sure that you go back to it and say, oh, let's say that this batch didn't have enough mica powder in it. Just keep a note down in the bottom. Hey, I need to add more mica powder next time. That way you'll get better quicker. And the more experience you have under your belt, the easier things are going to be, and the more you're going to just know instinctively, how much do you need to add with this powder, or whatever the case may be. So if you're new to the channel, we do all kinds of resin casting projects, tips and tricks, and experiments around here. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're interested in that, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos get posted. And if you're thinking about getting into resin casting but you're not really sure where to begin, check out my ebook, Beginner's Guide to Resin Casting. It answers all those beginner questions like, what do I need to get started? How does it all work? What resin should I use? It'll help you get over that initial learning curve so you can get in the shop and start making some projects of your own. It's available on my website if you're interested in that. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.